All right. So hello again, everybody. All right. So we're going to kick off talking about LinkedIn Level Up. Thank you for the camera ons. Like I said, it was like we're in our third year of the pandemic. So it's like I've been living in this room for 3 years. My mom and I were talking about it. I was like, it's like I'm serving a sentence for something. I'm like, I'm indoors. This is like the most social sentence. All right. So here we go. LinkedIn Level. Just thank God I'm not wearing the same outfit. Just a little quick overview of who I am. My name is Errol Olton. Just some fun facts about me. I got a Caribbean background, spent the last 10 years in nonprofit space. I've launched a couple of business ventures in terms of workforce development or career strategy. So that's where you're getting my expertise from today, okay? And then yes, that last bullet point, because I like to share personal things. I am thinking about buying a dog. And so offline, when this is not recorded, right, just let me know your tips. Thinking about a Doberman puppy, but you know, it depends. If you like dogs, it doesn't give you extra points in this, but it could. All right, so jumping right in. So your LinkedIn profile is your virtual handshake to the world, right? So here's the thing. You've got a bunch of things when we talk about what's your resume, your cover letter, your LinkedIn, your this, your that, your professional portfolio, okay? So just to kind of set the frame, when we talk about your resume, think of your resume like a movie trailer, okay? All right, so think about the movie. It's gotta be short, it's gotta be exciting, it's gotta be sweet, right? Like it's gotta be of interest. And then think of your cover letter as the movie review, and think of your interview, the interview experience as going to see the movie. The person's going to see the movie. And I like to set that context there because, you know, before we talk about LinkedIn, folks get really confused. Like, what do I use my resume for? What do I use my cover letter for? What do I use my LinkedIn, right? Your LinkedIn is that connecting agent that brings it all together. But when you're thinking about the scope of your career, start thinking of it like that, right? I love to like use that analogy. Resume is the movie trailer. That interview is seeing the movie. Now, you don't want a movie trailer that looks like a Disney film, and then when they go and see it in person, right, and they go see that movie, it's like Saw 5 or like a horror movie or The Conjuring or something like that, right? So you want to make sure what you have on paper, what you have on your LinkedIn matches who you are. And feel free also to interject, and even though there's a presentation up, I don't want to feel like separated from it, just feel free to interject and ask questions along the way, right? So that's what I like to think of it as. And when we think about your LinkedIn, it is your virtual handshake to the world, okay? And so yes, you're gonna have parts of your resume on it. Yes, you're gonna have parts of your cover letter on it as well. But the key is provide just the essentials of what you need, and you know, don't go too crazy on what you put out there. It's got to be short, sweet, and to the point. So we're going to discuss today some principles of networking and then learning about the LinkedIn platform. So moving through ways to participate. I try to be like a highly social person. I'm the most social introvert you'll ever meet, because after this, I'll probably just like get a tub of ice cream and like watch Netflix, catch up on Ozark or whatever, and just like, you know, be in my realm. So how you should participate, please unmute, please, you know, and jump in, please react just like Andrea did with the thumbs up. You know, take screenshots. That's what this is about, right? So why wait till you get the slides later? If there's something you see that's interesting, screenshot the heck out of it. And then also use the react buttons, okay? All right, jumping in. So what does networking, you don't have to add your response to the chat, you can say it out loud. What does networking mean to you? And here's the key to answering it. Please don't use the most perfect definition.
Building relationships.
Love that, David. Yes, building relationships, how you connect with folks. Okay, staying connected into that as well, developing those relationships. Anyone else? One more answer, you could build on it.
Yeah, I would agree. Building relationships, maybe connecting with people in order to promote yourself as well, and learn about other people and what they're doing.
Yeah, so self-promotion, so building those relationships, and also self-promotion, right? Sometimes we're shy and we were like told or raised or conditioned to like not show off, right? Our things are like, oh no, like stay under the radar, people will notice you. I say celebrate the hell out of yourself, and it's okay to do it on LinkedIn, right? The time to be bashful and shy is not when it comes to your career, right? Unless you're in a meeting and then it gets like really weird where someone's like, what are you doing? That's not the context of it. So that is, so networking is all about building those relationships. And you should, part of building relationships is you have to tell people what you're doing, what you're up to, right? So we have a couple of online social platforms. We've got Instagram, owned by Meta. Who knows what Meta is? It's Facebook. That's the new name for Facebook. They changed their name. It's so crazy. All right. So you got Instagram, Facebook, you've got Snapchat, you've got LinkedIn. Now, what's the difference here between LinkedIn and all these other platforms?
LinkedIn is
LinkedIn more
professional.
professional.
Go ahead. Candace and David, go ahead.
LinkedIn's more professional.
More professional. David, you're going to say the same?
Yep.
All right. And so yes, you're both of you are absolutely right. LinkedIn is more professional. So what you share on your Facebook, your Instagram, if you have Snap, I don't have Snap. I've generationally tapped out. I can't do it. I'm like confused by those controls. So I'm like, what is this technology? What you do on these social platforms, you're not going to do on LinkedIn, what you share, right? So I might log into my, LinkedIn and share, hey, I just had a really exciting meeting with some partners and here's the outcome. I am not going to put that on Instagram because my friends and family will unfollow me, right? And the same thing, like if I have maybe a religious or spiritual post, or maybe it's something like I'm out at the beach, right? Relaxing and turning up. I'm not going to put that on LinkedIn. Though, if you add me on LinkedIn, you will see I have before in the past, and I themed it as, work hard, play hard, right? You have to like relax and show people there's a downside because it helps people, as you say, build the relationship. They're like, okay, Errol's more than just the PowerPoint presentation. He's at the beach. Now I'm not showing my margarita, right? But I'm showing the waves, right? As you can tell, this is going to be one heck of a workshop today. So when we think about who you can connect with, we're talking about former employers, coworkers, professors if you're in college, right? Or taking studies, right? Family members, you can as well. And then also people you'd like to know, right? When we talk about that self-promotion point earlier, it's also like, if there's someone you connect with, there's folks I've connected with that I've never met a day in my life, but I know connecting with them is important, one. And then two, them seeing key updates, right, on their newsfeed from me might help just show some of like who I am and what I'm up to. All right. So on LinkedIn, you also have an opportunity to look on the newsfeed, those career updates, ability to add new connections. You can apply for jobs there. And then also, which we're going to deep dive in, is what to put in your profile. Okay. Speeding through because I know we kicked off a little bit later. So we've got LinkedIn is not your social media, right? It's not your traditional personal social media. It is filled with helpful tips and aha moments. We all have an aha moment. Who knows what an aha moment is? Tell me your definition. Or tell me Oprah's definition.
Is it coming to some sort of realization? I mean, I don't know what in terms of.
Yeah, that's it. Simply that. Yeah, it's coming to a simple, a realization. Maybe there was a way of doing business that you were doing before, and then you just switched up and it just gave you more result. Maybe it was a way of building relationships at work. Maybe it was, I didn't realize that I had a lunch and learn with some of the folks I supervise, and then that just strengthened our relationship. Anything that makes you go, aha, I think of things different. You might want to share on your LinkedIn. You don't always have to share, I just earned a certification in XYZ, right? Share some of like what, your professional growth stories, So that's something I also try to do because there's always one thing someone could relate to theirs, and also weigh in on trending conversations that's happening now. All right, so let's deep dive here. It looks a little bit smaller on my end. Nope. So I have a screenshot of my profile just to break down like the overview of the profile, and we'll like deep dive and go closer. So you have your LinkedIn profile, and that's where you have your headshot, you have your wallpaper, you have articles or activities. Of course, you have your about section. And again, we're going to deep dive in these. And then you have activity. So let's say you press like on something or commented on something, other people can see what you're commenting on, all right? So be careful of those controversial point of views, okay? Because everything you post is out there, right? And then it goes into your career history, which we're gonna deep dive into as well, okay? So let's see, let's go in, hold on a second, I'm going backwards. Right, so the header part of your section. So this is the open, this is prime real estate. I like to call it. So when someone goes onto your LinkedIn page, you want to have these essentials and screenshot this. And if you can't screenshot, take your picture, your phone, and just take a picture of the screen. You want to make sure that the first couple of seconds when someone gets to your profile, they see these things. You want to make sure that they see a clear picture. I say cheese, but I have a better definition of what to put. You want to make sure that your location is relevant to the areas where you're either at or you're going to be, you want opportunities to grow at. So let's say you live in New York, but you want to move to Atlanta, somewhere in Atlanta. You can change your location based off of there, because if a job recruiter is looking for you and they're running a search by location, you want to pop up in those locations. All right. And then also I put keywords are key. So let's go from the top. Right here, you see the wallpaper or the LinkedIn background. You can customize one. Here's a hint and tip. You can do it on Canva. Or you can find a nice one that is themed and appropriate and relevant to your industry to put up. You can Google it, like a high definition or high resolution one. All right. Thumbs up if that's making sense. Something as simple as that. Right? Something as simple as a nice background that's relevant to your field. So if you're in tech, you might want to have a more tech-based one. If you're in healthcare, right, you could show there's a stethoscope if you're a medical practitioner, or maybe there's some hospital environment or like a conference room, right? You want to engage folks, all right? You want to engage folks so that they get the theme of what you're with. Now, you'll notice I didn't use a background that is relevant to like career development or like a conference room or something like that. But I did customize mine on Canva, and I said organizational strategist. And yes, I matched it. This is a recorded session and I probably shouldn't say that, but yes, I matched it to the outfit I was wearing, because a lot of my business starts from LinkedIn. Now, of course, my name is there in a clear headshot. We'll talk about ways to do that. And then I have keywords: nonprofit strategist, TEDx speaker, performance coach. Maybe I could put career strategist. The reason why you want to just put keywords there is when someone is searching for people like you in their field, or people that they want to hire or recruit, these words will help you pop up in the search. Thumbs up if that makes sense, if that's clear. Right. There we go. All right. Thank you so much. Okay, good. All right. All right. So moving through, you'll notice some examples of people that have, let's go back one more. So there's people that have used this opening section here. Instead of putting these keywords, sometimes they put a little script, a little narrative to capture the person. So you have someone here, I blurred their pictures on purpose, right? Who's interested in education and social reform. For her title, like as soon as you go into our page, she has, I opened a school to close a prison. Powerful. Short, sweet, to the point, right? That's actually the most powerful I've seen. I've opened a school to close a prison. Says a whole lot. If you're thinking about prison reform or educational reform, it is very clear from this person's opening section what the theme of their career is. Here we have a director. They use, instead of using a tagline here, they use a couple of expertise areas to pop up in the field. Director, they're a director and they focus on social impact, corporate social responsibility, community relations, strategic partnerships, program management, and a corporate giving. You have someone here who's actually a recruiter or an employer, and they want to let you know that if you come to their profile, what's happening? They're saying, I'm hiring right now for life insurance, telesales work from home positions. And then you'll notice they use the strategy that I'm recommending to you all. So if there's any takeaway here in this point is give another look to who you are in terms of expertise areas and how you'd want to be, how do you want to pop up in terms of folks in your field or folks maybe searching and seeking for you for an opportunity. Any questions about this before we continue? All right. And if questions pop up, either add them to the chat or whatever's, or unmute. So we have this where we just saw, and then you have, I'm a highly passionate youth educator, creative artist, 20+ years, working diverse administrative settings. And then you have also someone that did it like this. All right, so hopefully these examples are giving you ideas. I didn't just want to share the concept with you without providing you some example for yourself. All right, so the intro. So right, this is the opening sections, right underneath your headshot and the section. You have, this is the opportunity to show off work samples. So if you go to my page, and you can go to it after this call as well, you'll notice I've written a couple of articles, and sometimes an article is not like something that's published in New York Times. It is just something where these are my thoughts, almost like a professional blog. And I also include a picture of it, because in terms of folks looking in my field for like career development, I want that when they come to Errol's profile, they're seeing, they're seeing articles on career development. They're seeing articles on probably organizational development, things like that. So you can see even highlights that I've pinned to the top. So I advise you all, like as you're becoming, let's say, a thought leader in your field, right? Or if you want to show off maybe something, that you published, consider using the LinkedIn articles feature and pinning it to the top of your profile. All right, so the About Me section. So everyone gets crossed up here. A lot of folks get crossed up here. So the About Me section is where you can, it's like your career highlight reel, right? Remember, you're the movie, what we were talking about earlier. You are the movie. So you can put notable highlights in my About section. I can just say, I'm Errol Olton, and here's some interesting things about me. I've done some work impacting at-risk communities, with 2 examples of how. Right now I'm expanding business development opportunities for others that I work with, or myself, just my own ventures, my business to resume tailor, and my consultancy. And just in case they miss it below and further down in LinkedIn, I'd like to talk about awards and honors. Now, not everyone's getting, you might not have got an award from HSBC Bank or the NAACP. That's fine. Maybe you've got Employee of the Year or of the quarter, and you want to share that. Maybe in your business, you increase maybe outcomes by X%. Include that there, because this is your highlight reel. Short, sweet, to the point. Use bullet points if you can, right? If you're, I think if you're a PC user, to insert a manual bullet point, you could do press Command and hold the number 8. And if you're a Mac user, I think you can do Option and 8 or Command 8, something like that, to do the little bullet points as well. So hopefully that's helpful, but just the takeaway here is in your About Me section, brag the heck out of yourself. Short, sweet highlights of your career. And just a word of a caution is whenever you share, let's say you're saying I increase X%, in certain metrics, make sure that it's something that if your employer saw, it wouldn't, break let's say a HIPAA violation or a violation of like what's, private to your company, okay? Any questions about that, or we're still good to go? All right, so hopefully this is helping you slowly transform your About section. So you want to communicate a little more on this with energy and your personality. You want to apply the 10-second rule, meaning can someone read this in 10 seconds comfortably and say, I know who Christina is. I know who Candace is, right? If it takes longer than 10 seconds, you're talking too much. Because think about it. They're not coming there to do a deep study on you. It's just they're passing through. Short, sweet bullet points. All right, and you can write in first person. I know resumes are not written in first person. They're usually written in like third. So you can write in first person, okay? Screenshot this if this is helpful for you, or take a picture with your camera phone. All right, so your career history, I love how I write slides. Keep it really simple. Highlights. I did this, like I created and launched an adult education program which directly impacted the New York City community. First person, that's what I wrote in my career history. Then put 2 bullet points or 2, use the star emoji, right underneath it, outcomes. They don't need to know, well, when I first started, it was just me in this department. And then we grew. And then, I did a couple of this, and they're gonna go to sleep. Okay, they're gonna skim over. Keep it light. I did this, or I worked for a Fortune 500 company and I did XYZ. And then 1 to 2 things you're most proud of as a bullet point. all right? A lot of times when you go on LinkedIn, people have a really dense text and nobody really reads that, right? Just being honest with you. So know your reader, know who's reading your profile. Increase your brag. Yes, I did write this, be braggadocious, okay? Be braggadocious. I should file for the trademark on that. But be braggadocious, brag, right? If you don't celebrate you, who will? They don't know your accomplishments. Put it out there. De-stress, don't let the anxiety hit you, and just showcase yourself, right? More about the career history section. You see another, like, want to make sure that you're tagging the company you work with, because sometimes it comes with the logo as well. And just put a little space between your text as well. So it's easy for folks to see who you are and what you accomplished in that role. Dust off those awards. So this is where you buff up your profile, right? Like I was saying, your customer service, you could talk about it, maybe a customer service award, maybe employee of the month. Maybe you went out, maybe your job, how our jobs send us to like get these like one-day certifications on stuff. And then we just, I did it out of compliance. We put it in a folder and we toss it in like a drawer. Go back, open that drawer up, look at those certifications, even if you got it, it took 3 hours to get it, or 2 or 3 hours. It is yours. It is something you have that I don't have. It's something you have and the next person doesn't have. And add that to your LinkedIn profile. Celebrate you. Again, that's the real theme here. Find ways to celebrate and uplift you. Okay. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this. This is one of those screenshotable moments. In case you're not trying to pay $300 or more on a professional headshot, because, and no offense to folks that are, need to do that, but I've had both. I've had the free version, which I'm about to show you, and then the paid version, which I have up, right? Where you see me smiling, the light's hitting me well. More about that later if you want to know who did mine. It's a really great couple that I know that have a business where they do this seasonally. But this is the way to do it yourself. Find a nice wall, uncluttered office, or head outdoors on a warm day. That's a little tough these days. Make sure that the lighting is hitting you from the front, just like the lighting's hitting me now, and from an angle, because overhead lighting is going to create shadows over your eyes and your face regions. Okay. So that's why I'm like literally pointed towards the window. The moment I turn on my overhead, it's over. Lighting is key. Dress for success, right? Professional attire doesn't have to be overly formal. Avoid those geometric patterns. And then say yes. Don't say cheese, say yes. So why? Take a look at me. When you say cheese, you're doing this, right? And it's unnatural and you're like, oh my gosh, you feel the pressure in your cheeks and you're like, cheese. And you're like, I hate this picture. This is not coming out well. Well, the key is say yes, because when you say yes, it's more relaxed on your facial muscles. So it's yes. Yes. Would you like a raise? Yes. Right? Your eyes light up. All right. If that's helpful, react, let me know. Or because I find a lot of folks struggle here and they're like, I can't get my pictures right. And they're like, geez, and they're, they look scary like that. Right? So you say yes. And I just practice saying that, even for your selfies on your personal, your Instagram or your Facebook. Okay. So if that's helpful, thumbs up for me. Let me know. Just want to make sure our journey is okay, or you could thumbs up, you could raise it up. There we go. All right. Thank you, David. Thank you, Christine. All right. Thumbs up in there. Great. And again, we're talking about the direction of the light to you. Overhead creates shadows. And you get this angle right here, lights up all your facial tones, and you just smile. Say yes. Okay. Screenshotable moments. Here we go. We talked about showing off your skills already, right? Adding your skills and being specific to your industry, right? So if you're going for a director role, right? Or you want to be known as that, or you want to make sure the skills that you prioritize on your profile lean towards that. Again, for when a job recruiter looks and searches for you, they are seeing those skills first. And you also want to make sure those skills are emphasized in the opening section, like we said, all right? I think coming on to the last couple of points here, spread love. So recommendations, that section adds a new level to your profile, adds more dimension. It's, when folks that have worked with you, or either, let's say, as a coworker, maybe they were a coworker that, a supervisory relationship, maybe someone you supervised, someone that supervised you, worked alongside, go in and be bold and ask them, hey, can you provide a recommendation for my LinkedIn profile? Just let folks know what it's like to work with me. And sometimes we don't want to ask folks that, but it is helpful to do that because it shows a future, a recruiter or someone else that's saying like, what is it like to work with David, right? What is it like to work with Andrea? What is it like? Then they can see it in someone else's lens. So for an example of that, Walter has no idea that his face was going to pop up on this slide. And it's funny because I've had these slides and I never told Walter about that. So Walter, you're in my presentations in other areas, and no, I will not cut you a check for using your stuff. Right? So Walter has wrote some for me or my friend Joe Green, right? Jupiter Joe Green. So, I didn't tell them what to say. Sometimes I offer it and say, hey, I'll write one for you as well. Sometimes another person doesn't actually want you to write one for them, but it is helpful. So just take a moment, just peek right here to see what someone could write for you. Now, obviously, you want to ask folks that light up when they talk about you. You don't want to ask someone that is like, I don't really know this person. I don't really know David. What am I going to write, right? You want someone that knows what it's like to work with you. All right. And then let's see, I think this is our last slide, and then I'll open it up for questions, right? Yep, there we go. Errol knows his presentation. So if we go all the way back, right, to some highlights, right? I think the biggest takeaways here is I want to make sure that when someone comes to your profile, they get the essence of who you are. And don't write stuffy, don't write, try to find the best and perfect way. Just be short, sweet, to the point. I like to type, I'm gonna give you another secret. I like to type with a smile, and it helps even like, I'm sorry, my Alexa went off. This just happened. Give me 1 second. That's AI in your house, right? So I like, that threw me off. So I like that, when someone comes to your profile, and they see the magnitude of who you are, they get the essence of it either through like the first 10 seconds of skimming your profile, okay? And so one of the things you can do is type with a smile, like I was saying a moment ago. Type with a smile, say, I am this person, I am interested in these categories, all these different ways to just add light and energy and clarity to your profile. And here's the thing I'll offer to you all today. If when you edit your profile, okay, and you want someone to just take an extra peek on it and say, how does this look, good or bad? I'm actually going to open myself and make myself available to you. I'll put my email in the chat. You can shoot me an email, say that we connected on the Lunch and Learn, and say, hey, I made some edits to my LinkedIn profile. Can you give it a look over? I'll do that free of charge to you, right? Because I want to make sure that you're standing forward and shining in your most professional light. So I'll open the floor for questions, and or tell me either you have a question or you learned something new that you didn't think of before when it came to your LinkedIn profile. All right. Any questions? Any questions? All right. So if no questions here, what I'm going to do is add my email to the chat. And again, within the next, let's say, month or so, I would say seize it as soon as you can. Just shoot me an email. Let me know that we connected on our Lunch and Learn, and that you'd want me to just give you free feedback on your LinkedIn profile using some of those principles that we spoke about today. All right. And so I'm going to stop the recording, and just in terms of for logistical purposes, and then we'll keep the line open. All right.